This video is a warning to all real estate owners that are looking to sell their property in the last quarter of 2023 because the market has shifted again. Yep, like a crazy roller coaster, we keep slipping from prices going up to markets where prices go down, and then up higher and then down again, and so on and so on. And it looks like, yes, prices have peaked in many major markets across the country, except for Calgary, of course. And you should no longer expect to sell for more than your neighbor did just a few weeks ago. But no, not all is lost. Yes, you can still get your home sold in a downtrending market, and that's what I'm going to explain to you today in this video. But before I can explain why a declining market is not the end of the world, I'd love to invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you find anything of value in today's video or others on the channel, please do me a favor and click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps me get these videos seen by other people just like you. So thank you for the thumbs up. And now let's talk about what you need to know if this market continues to show signs of softening this fall. First off, when you're positioning your home for sale, of course, staging, photography, measurements, and advertisements all have to be perfect. As the market slows, as it did over the summer, you as the seller have to understand that there are times in the market when you don't have the upper hand. In a hot market, you may not need to perfectly position your home online to get buyers in the door. Because when real estate is hot, half of the properties that come to market end up selling. And if buyers are having trouble buying a home, they are likely to line up outside of your listing no matter how poor your agent's marketing is, or how much you didn't clean up before the open house. But when the market gets tough like it is now, you need to pay even more attention than you normally would to the most important statistic of all of them: months of inventory. You see, if you have 3 homes on the market in a 30-day period and one of them sells, then you have 3 months of inventory. But if you have 7 homes on the market and in that same 30-day period, again, only one of them sells, well, you have 7 months of supply, or as we call it, inventory. And of course, this could be extrapolated not just from your neighborhood, but across the entire market. As I talk about ad nauseum on this channel, 0 to 3 months of supply is a seller's market, meaning that the sellers are in control and prices are easily going up. 4 to 5 months of supply is a balanced market. Prices should be stable and very predictable, and this is actually the market that is best for everyone. And with over 6 months of supply of inventory on the market, well, we refer to that as a buyer's market, meaning that the buyers are in control of prices. And when buyers are running the show, they are only buying properties where they think they're getting the best deal or the best price. And therefore, in a buyer's market, prices are declining. So here's an exercise you can do to find out where you are in the market. Find out how many homes like yours are for sale in your area. Then maybe on your own or with the help of your agent, identify in the last 30 days how many sold. If that number is under 3, then your price can be a little bit high. And although it may take a little while, the market will eventually catch up and you will likely get your home sold. But if that number is 4 or above, then you're going to want to do an even further analysis. For example, if you find out that your listing is one of 12 for sale in your neighborhood, and then you find out that only 1 property has sold in the last 30 days, well, you have 12 months of supply, and you can expect that prices should be dropping sharply in the coming months. And that's because buyers have lots to pick from. Now, what I want you to do is take those 12 listings and sort them by price, from 1 being the cheapest all the way down to 12 being the most expensive. And what you're likely going to find is the one at the lowest price point is probably going to be the next property to sell. I think of this almost like an F1 race. If you are in the pole position, you are most likely to win the race because you are already at the front of the pack. Well, in real estate, the front of the pack is most often having the best price. You see, in a hot market, it's almost like racing against only 1 or 2 other cars. Your chances of winning increase pretty quickly. But if that race now has 7, 12, or 18 cars in it, your chances of winning reduces pretty quickly. And unfortunately, if you start the race in 13th position, what are the chances that you are really going to win? And in this case, win means sell? Well, the truth is you have to likely advance your way through all of the rest of the competition to get to the front of the pack. And again, in real estate, in a race with a lot of competition, that means most of the time being the best price thing on the market. And that is often done by having the lowest price or the most amount of value for the buyer. But it's not all price. There are some other things to consider. Again, when the market is hot, you might not need to stage your home to the nines in order to get an offer. When you're in a seller's market, your agent might be able to get away with a few iPhone pics and even the dreaded screenshot of Google Street View. But that simply won't fly in a balanced or buyer's market. And here's why. Something I do with every single one of my buyers after every single showing is we stand in the driveway of the home or the foyer of the condo and I ask, what would you rate that home that we just saw out of 10? And here's the catch. I'm not going to let you get away with a 7. And the reason I ask that question is because it's almost a corresponding metric to months of inventory. You see, if you're, in 10 months supply, a firm buyer's market with prices dropping, only properties ranked 10 out of 10 are even going to get an offer. And that is because if the buyer has 10 properties to pick from and your property shows like a 5, well, you don't stand a chance. But in a crazy seller's market like we experienced in 2020 and 2021, properties were selling extremely quickly. We found ourselves in under 1 month of supply across most of the market. So if you wanted to buy a 10 out of 10, you were probably going to compete against 20 or 30 other offers trying to purchase the same place. And if you were unable to compete with those buyers, by offering $200,000 over the asking price with no conditions, well then, if you found a property that ranked even a 3 or a 4 out of 10, well, that was probably the one you would have to offer on if you wanted a home. So how does this all apply to right now? Well, in today's market, I'm seeing a lot of 6s and 8s just sit on the market. And only 8.5 to 10 out of 10s are actually selling. So if you're unwilling to do the work to get your property to an 8.5 out of 10 or above, you likely don't stand a chance to sell until the market turns around again. Unless, of course, you have one thing that makes your property stand out. And that's what I call the wow factor.
Wow!
The wow factor can be many things, but it must be a wow. This could be a pool, a killer renovation, or being in the right school district, or something else that makes the buyer say, wow, I have to have this home. And if you don't have that wow factor in a market like this one, like if your home is not showing like a 10 out of 10 in a down market, well, then let me fill you in on a little real estate agent secret. In a market that favors the buyer, if you don't have a wow factor, then your wow factor has to be the price. And if you are having trouble determining the right price for your home and you live in my market of Surrey, BC, well, you can book a call with me right now using the link in the description below at a time that works best for you. Thank you for subscribing, clicking the like button, and we'll see you in a couple of days.